Hello, Jeanette Rosenberg from the Jewish Genealogical Society of Great Britain. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Chris. Good to see you.
And yourself. I happen to know that you've been very busy.
Yep.
And you've been doing a wee bit of work onto something that might be of interest to people in Glasgow
Yes.
with Jewish connections.
That's true.
Okay.
It's a database of children who used to attend the Gorbals public school. In the Mitchell Library, they've got admission registers. There's 2 registers for the boys and there's 2 registers for the girls. And my database uses the first register, one for the boys and one for the girls. And we were there looking at the registers and extracted the names of the Jewish pupils, and we databased those and put them online. Now, the database is really important because it captures the people between the censuses, and often people migrated or transmigrated through Glasgow from Eastern Europe on their way to America. So sometimes that's a place that between censuses they were there. They won't have appeared anywhere else in records, but they'll have put their kids in school. So you can get real good information about birth dates for the kids, places they were there, dates when they left because they went to America. And there's lots of annotations in the margins,
right.
Lots of comments that are really useful, that add colour and life to the information about people.
What you haven't said is you haven't said what period we're talking about for this database. So what sort of years are you covering, really?
It's the period just about the late 1800s, early 1900s.
All right, okay.
So I did the first register. There's a second one that goes up to the 1911 census.
Right.
That hopefully at some point in the future, but not just yet. Haven't had time to go back and look at those registers.
Oh, you need to get a move on, Jeanette.
I know,
Come on, that's just rubbish.
I know, but it coincides quite nicely as a secondary source with obviously the 1901 census, and there's been other research done on Jewish records around 1901 in Glasgow. So it kind of corroborates, and you can see who lived where in that very particular area in and around the Gorbals.
Yeah.
Also the only Jewish school in the area, but it's the only school that's got the surviving records on the registers.
Okay. And are we talking, is it literally the catchment area, just the Gorbals, or are we talking a wee bit wider afield, you know, Hutchinson Town and all that sort of area? Or?
It's in Hutchinson Town as well.
Yeah.
But it really, I mean, there were 6, I think, different schools in the Gorbals area.
Right.
But the issue for the Gorbals school, the Gorbals public school, is it had the highest proportion of Jewish children at the school.
Right.
In the other schools where they've also got surviving registers in the Mitchell, there's a far lower proportion of Jewish kids.
Right.
So it tended to be if a child was Jewish, their parents wanted them, you know, not to go to Adelphi or not to go to one of the other schools, but they wanted them at the Gorbals public school.
Why did the Gorbals become such a place of settlement for the Jewish community?
I think it was because it was just down the road from the port, probably.
Right, okay. No, fair enough.
Yeah.
I just often wonder, you always hear about the community in the Gorbals, and it seems to be the only Jewish community in Scotland. It's not true, there are other communities.
No,
but
there are others, and in fact now they've moved out and they're more in suburban Glasgow. But they were very much in the centre of town. Originally there were several synagogues. Now there's just a synagogue up at the top of the hill.
That's right, yeah. Where the Jewish Archive is that?
That's where the Scottish Jewish Archive is, yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, listen, you're here because you're obviously working on the society, still the Jewish Genealogical Society of Great Britain. Just tell me a bit about what you're doing as a society at the moment. You know.
Certainly. Well, the JGSGB is the UK's only Jewish Genealogical Society, and so we're here as a centre of excellence and a single one-stop shop for doing Jewish genealogical research in the UK, helping people who are tracing their Jewish ancestry, so not just Jewish people, but people who had or have a Jewish ancestor somewhere, and often who don't know much about it, they don't necessarily know where their person came from, and we're helping people to reconnect with their ancestors and to trace their family back to the old country.
Okay. And now the website for the society, if people haven't actually checked it out yet, what is your website address?
Our website, www.jgsgb.org.uk.
Okay, And the database, we didn't say where to find the database.
The database is on the website of Jewish Communities and Records UK.
Okay.
And if you go for Gorbals,
that's a sub-page of the main website.
There is a sub-page, and it's got a link that will take you right the way to where to search it.
Right. And how many kids are we talking about that are
It's
indexed?
about 10,000 records in total.
So there's a chance you may have one or two of them in your tree. Yeah, that's
Most certainly. If the child went to the school, Gorbals Public School, they will be in there.
All right. Well, Jeanette, thanks very much. And it's a good resource. I know you did that when you were at Strathclyde.
Yes, that's right.
It's a project. It's a useful project. I'm sure a lot of people will find of interest.
Well, in the very short period of time that it's been up online, I've had quite a lot of people contacting me. There's my contacts through there as well. So we're asking for other information or signposting onwards. So yeah.
No, good stuff. And I suppose a big name check to the Mitchell Library who give you permission and all that.
Most definitely, the Mitchell Library, to whom great thanks. Without them, it wouldn't have happened.
There you go, Mitchell Library. You got an on-screen credit. Jeanette, thanks very much indeed, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks, and you.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye.